If you think you're too smart to be manipulated, you're already the perfect target. That's not an insult. It's a warning. Because here's what nobody tells you. Manipulation doesn't work on stupid people. It works on intelligent, confident, successful people who believe they're immune to it. The manipulators aren't looking for the weak-minded. They're hunting for the sharp, the capable, the high achievers. And if you've ever thought, I'm too logical to fall for that, congratulations, you just painted a target on your back. I'm going to spend the next hour breaking down why the smartest people get played the hardest, how manipulation actually works at a psychological level, and most importantly, how to protect yourself without becoming paranoid or cynical. Because by the end of this, you'll understand that being manipulated has nothing to do with intelligence and everything to do with human psychology that affects all of us. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most misunderstood aspects of human psychology, manipulation. And I need to start by destroying a myth that makes people vulnerable. The myth is this: manipulation only works on stupid, gullible, or weak people. This belief is not just wrong, it's dangerous. Because when you believe you're too smart to be manipulated, you stop watching for the signs. You let your guard down. You ignore red flags because I would never fall for that. And that's exactly when you become most vulnerable. Here's the reality that research consistently shows. Intelligent people are often more susceptible to certain types of manipulation, not less. People with high emotional intelligence get exploited through their empathy. People with strong logical minds get trapped by elaborate reasoning that appeals to their ego. Successful people get conned because they're confident in their judgment. Educated people fall for scams that flatter their intellect. Manipulation is not about overpowering someone's mind. It's about understanding human psychology and exploiting universal vulnerabilities that every human being has, regardless of IQA. It's about finding the gap between how we think we make decisions and how we actually make decisions. And that gap is for everyone. So let's talk about why manipulation targets the intelligent, the capable, and the confident. Let's break down the actual mechanics of how it works. And let's arm you with the knowledge to spot it without becoming so cynical that you can't trust anyone. Let's start with what I call the intelligence paradox. This is the counterintuitive reality that certain aspects of intelligence actually make you more vulnerable to manipulation, not less. The confidence trap. Intelligent people tend to be confident in their judgment. You've made good decisions in the past. You've succeeded where others failed. You've outsmarted problems. This creates a dangerous assumption. If someone is trying to manipulate me, I'll know it. But here's what manipulators understand that you don't. Confidence is a vulnerability. When you're confident, you're less likely to second-guess yourself. You're less likely to seek outside opinions. You're more likely to trust your gut, even when your gut is being deliberately manipulated. Think about it. If you think you're too smart to be scammed, are you going to carefully scrutinize an investment opportunity that seems logical? Probably not. You'll do basic due diligence, but you won't be paranoid about it because I'm not the type of person who falls for scams. And that's exactly what the scammer is counting on. The complexity, attraction. Intelligent people are drawn to complexity. We like puzzles. We like nuanced arguments. We like feeling like we're understanding something sophisticated that others might miss. Manipulators exploit this by creating elaborate schemes that require intelligence to understand. A simple scam might say, "Send money, get rich." An intelligent person immediately sees through that. But a complex scam might involve cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, arbitrage opportunities, regulatory loopholes, and proprietary algorithms. Now the intelligent person's brain lights up. This is interesting. This requires actual understanding. This isn't for average people. The complexity serves no purpose except to engage your intelligence and make you feel special for understanding it. It's bait designed specifically for smart people. The rationalization engine. Here's something really important. Intelligent people are better at rationalization. You can construct logical arguments to support almost any conclusion. This is normally a strength, but manipulators turn it into a weakness. When something doesn't quite add up, an intelligent person doesn't just ignore it like someone less analytical might. Instead, you construct a logical explanation that makes sense. You fill in the gaps. You give the benefit of the doubt, but in a sophisticated way that feels like critical thinking. The manipulator doesn't have to have all the answers. They just need to plant suggestions and let your intelligent mind build the bridge. You literally manipulate yourself by creating logical justifications for what you're being led to believe. The pattern recognition trap. Intelligent people are good at recognizing patterns, but manipulators know this, so they create false patterns. They give you 3 pieces of information that seem to form a pattern, and your brain automatically extrapolates the 4th piece. Let me give you an example. A manipulator might say, "I helped my neighbor move last month. I donated to the animal shelter. I volunteer at the food bank on weekends." Your pattern-recognizing brain goes, "This is a good person." Then when they ask you for something or make a claim, you're predisposed to believe them because the pattern says trustworthy. But those 3 things might be complete lies, or they might be true, but strategically deployed to create a false pattern about their overall character. The ego investment. Intelligent people have often invested significant ego in being intelligent. Your intelligence is part of your identity. Admitting you've been manipulated feels like admitting your intelligence failed you. So there's enormous psychological pressure to not see manipulation even when it's happening. You'll rationalize. You'll explain it away. You'll find reasons why what's happening isn't actually manipulation. Because accepting that you've been manipulated requires accepting that your intelligence didn't protect you, and that's a hit to your identity. This is why some of the longest-running cons involve highly intelligent people who refuse to accept they've been conned, even when presented with overwhelming evidence. Their ego won't let them see it. Now let's get into the actual psychology of how manipulation works, because understanding the mechanics is the first step to defending yourself. Manipulation versus persuasion. First, we need to distinguish manipulation from persuasion because they use similar techniques but with different intents. Persuasion is transparent about its goals. When a salesperson tries to sell you a car, you know they want your money. When a politician asks for your vote, you know they want your vote. The intent is clear. You can evaluate it critically, and you're making a conscious choice. Manipulation hides its true intent. The manipulator makes you think you're making a free choice when actually you're being steered toward their desired outcome. The goal is concealed. The techniques are covert. And most importantly, you don't know you're being influenced. That's the key difference: transparency of intent. The 6 Principles of Influence. Robert Cialdini, a psychologist who spent his career studying persuasion, identified 6 universal principles of influence. Manipulators weaponize these principles. Let's break them down. Principle 1. Reciprocity. Humans are wired to return favors. If someone does something for you, you feel obligated to do something for them. This is normally a good social principle, but manipulators exploit it. They'll do unsolicited favors for you, not out of kindness, but to create obligation. They'll give you gifts you didn't ask for. They'll help you with something small. Then when they ask for something big, you feel like you owe them. The key manipulation here is that you never asked for the initial favor. They imposed it on you specifically to create debt. And intelligent people who pride themselves on being fair and reciprocal feel this obligation strongly. Principle 2. Commitment and consistency. Once we commit to something, we feel psychological pressure to behave consistently with that commitment. Manipulators get you to make small commitments, then leverage those to extract bigger ones. For example, a manipulator might get you to agree with a small statement. You believe in helping people in need, right? Of course, you say yes. Then later, well, I'm in need, so based on what you said about helping people, they're using your commitment to consistency to trap you. Intelligent people are especially vulnerable to this because we value consistency and hate hypocrisy. We don't want to contradict ourselves, so we'll follow through on commitments even when we realize we were manipulated into making them. Principle 3. Social proof. We look to others to guide our behavior, especially in uncertain situations. If everyone else is doing it, it must be okay. Manipulators create false social proof. They'll say everyone in your department has already contributed, or all the smart investors are getting into this, or people like you are doing this. They're creating the illusion that your peer group has already made this decision, so you should too. For intelligent people, this is often framed as other intelligent people have already figured this out. That appeals to your desire to be part of the smart crowd rather than the masses who don't get it. Principle 4. Authority. We're trained from childhood to obey authority figures. Manipulators fake authority through credentials, titles, jargon, and confidence. They might use technical language to sound expert. They might mention impressive-sounding affiliations. They might dress the part. They create the appearance of authority to bypass your critical thinking. Intelligent people are vulnerable to authority that matches their domain. If you're not financially sophisticated, a scammer talking complex finance will intimidate you into not asking hard questions. Your intelligence tells you this person knows more than me in this area. I should defer. Principle 5. Liking. We're more likely to say yes to people we like. Manipulators make themselves likable through similarity, compliments, and cooperation. They'll mirror your interests. Oh, you like hiking? I love hiking. They'll compliment you in ways that feel genuine. They'll create artificial we're-in-this-together dynamics. And it works because liking creates trust, and trust lowers defenses. Intelligent people think they're immune to this because I make decisions based on logic, not feelings. But that's exactly wrong. Everyone makes decisions emotionally and then rationalizes them logically. The manipulator just needs to create the positive emotion. Your intelligence will construct the logical justification. Principle 6. Scarcity. We want more of what's scarce or limited. Limited time offer, only 3 spots left. This opportunity won't come again. Scarcity creates urgency, and urgency short circuits careful deliberation. Manipulators create artificial scarcity to pressure you into deciding before you have time to think critically. And intelligent people are vulnerable because scarcity is often real in competitive environments. That job opportunity might actually be limited. That investment window might actually close. So your intelligence tells you scarcity is a valid factor to consider, and the manipulator exploits that. The manipulation cocktail. Here's what makes manipulation so effective. Manipulators rarely use just one principle. They combine them. They create a cocktail of influence techniques that overwhelm your ability to resist. For example, I helped you last month with that project, reciprocity. You said you valued innovation, commitment. All the top performers in the company are already on board. Social proof. The VP specifically recommended you, authority. Each individual technique might not work alone, but combined, they create a psychological environment where saying no feels wrong, even if logically you should. The emotional bypass. Here's the really critical insight. Manipulation works by engaging your emotions while bypassing your logic. The manipulator creates strong feelings, excitement, fear, obligation, pride that drive your decision. Then they give you logical sounding reasons so you can tell yourself it was a rational choice. You think, I made a logical decision based on the facts. Reality, I made an emotional decision and found facts to support it. Intelligent people are especially vulnerable to this because we have strong identities as rational decision makers. We need to believe our decisions are logical, so we're motivated to find logical justifications for what are actually emotional responses. The manipulator doesn't need to convince your logic. They just need to trigger your emotions and trust that your intelligence will do the rest. Let's talk specifically about who manipulators target and why certain personality traits and life circumstances make you vulnerable. The high achiever. High achievers are prime targets because they're used to success. You've succeeded before, so you trust your judgment. You've made good decisions, so you're confident in your decision-making process. Manipulators exploit this by framing their scheme as an opportunity worthy of high achievers. This isn't for everyone. This is for people who are serious about success. They appeal to your identity as someone who seizes opportunities others miss. They know you're less likely to do extreme due diligence because you trust your ability to spot good opportunities. They know you're more likely to act quickly because high achievers are decisive, and they know your ego is invested in being right. So once you commit, you'll rationalize away red flags. The empathetic person. If you're highly empathetic, you're vulnerable to emotional manipulation. Manipulators will share sob stories, create scenarios where you feel responsible for their well-being, or make you feel like you're the only one who can help them. Your empathy is real and beautiful, but manipulators weaponize it. They know you'll prioritize their feelings over your boundaries. They know you'll feel guilty saying no. They know you'll give them benefit of the doubt because you can imagine yourself in their situation. The busy professional. People who are busy and successful are targets because they're making dozens of decisions daily. Decision fatigue is real. When you're depleted from making important decisions all day, you're vulnerable to manipulation because you don't have the mental energy for deep scrutiny of every interaction. Manipulators specifically target you during high-stress periods. They'll make their ask when you're overwhelmed with work, dealing with family issues, or otherwise mentally taxed. They know you're more likely to say yes just to make the decision and move on. The newly successful. People who've recently achieved success are particularly vulnerable because they're still adjusting to their new status. Maybe you just got promoted, started a successful business, or came into money. You want to believe this success is permanent, and you deserve it. Manipulators target this transition period. They validate your new status, make you feel like you belong in this new tier, and present opportunities that match your new station in life. Your desire to solidify your success makes you vulnerable to schemes that promise to grow or protect your new wealth status. The isolated person. Isolation is a huge vulnerability. If you're disconnected from close relationships, you're easier to manipulate because there's no one to reality check what's happening. Manipulators often work to isolate you further. They'll subtly discourage you from discussing their proposals with others. This is confidential. Other people won't understand. They'll be jealous. They create an us versus them dynamic, where trusting outsiders feels like betraying the manipulator. The identity-driven person. If your sense of self is strongly tied to specific traits, I'm a good person, I'm intelligent, I'm loyal, I'm fair, manipulators exploit this. They'll frame their requests in terms of your identity. A fair person would. Someone as intelligent as you sees that, I know you're loyal, so. They're not asking you to do something. They're asking you to be consistent with who you believe you are. And because challenging the request means challenging your identity, you're motivated to comply even when you shouldn't. The pattern, control and ego. Notice the pattern. The people most vulnerable to manipulation are those who are confident in their judgment, have something to protect, reputation, success, identity, trust their ability to spot problems, have ego, invested in being right. These aren't weaknesses. These are normal human traits, but manipulators understand them deeply and exploit them systematically. Not all manipulators are the same. Let's break down the different types so you can recognize them. Type 1, the professional con artist. This is someone who manipulates for material gain as a career. They're studying psychology, practicing techniques, and running calculated schemes. They're smooth, prepared, and experienced. The professional con artist is actually less common than you think, but they're the most dangerous because they're skilled. They know exactly what they're doing. They've done it successfully many times, and they're constantly refining their approach. They target high-value marks, people with money, access, or influence. They're patient, often spending months building trust before making their move. And they're gone before you realize what happened. Type 2, the narcissist. Narcissists manipulate to maintain their self-image and control their environment. They need constant validation and will manipulate to get it. They need to feel superior and will manipulate to maintain that feeling. Unlike con artists who are purely transactional, narcissists manipulate within relationships. They're your romantic partner, family member, colleague, or friend who uses manipulation to control the relationship dynamic. They use gaslighting, making you doubt your reality. Love bombing, overwhelming affection followed by withdrawal. And triangulation, using third parties to create jealousy or insecurity. Their manipulation is about power and control, not necessarily material gain. Type 3, the passive-aggressive manipulator. This person doesn't directly ask for what they want. Instead, they manipulate through guilt, sulking, and indirect communication. They make you guess what they want and feel bad for not providing it. They use statements like "I'm fine" when they're clearly not, then punish you for not reading their mind. They do favors you didn't ask for, then resent you for not reciprocating. They create situations where you feel obligated without them explicitly asking. This is manipulation through emotional discomfort. They make you so uncomfortable with the tension that you'll do what they want just to resolve it. Type 4. The ideological manipulator. This person manipulates in service of a belief system. They might be recruiting for a cult, MLM, political extremism, or other ideology. They genuinely believe in their cause, which makes them convincing. They use love bombing, create us versus them narratives, and gradually isolate you from people who might question the ideology. They don't see it as manipulation because they believe they're saving or enlightening you. The dangerous part is their sincerity. They really believe what they're saying, which makes them more persuasive than someone who's consciously lying. Type 5. The opportunistic manipulator. This isn't someone who manipulates as a personality trait or career. This is someone who manipulates when the opportunity presents itself and they want something. Maybe they're normally fine, but they need money and they know you're vulnerable right now. Maybe they're not usually manipulative, but they're jealous of your relationship, so they subtly try to sabotage it. They're not professional manipulators, but in specific circumstances, they choose manipulation. This is actually the most common type because almost everyone is capable of manipulation under the right circumstances. The question is whether they choose to act on it. Type 6. The unconscious manipulator. Some people manipulate without fully realizing it. They've learned dysfunctional patterns of getting their needs met, often from childhood. They manipulate because it's their learned strategy, not because they're consciously scheming. For example, someone who learned as a child that they only got attention when they were sick might unconsciously exaggerate illness to get care as an adult. They're not thinking, "I'm going to manipulate this person." They're just doing what they learned works. These people can still cause real damage, but they're different from conscious manipulators because they can potentially change if they develop awareness. Now let's talk about the specific warning signs that you're being manipulated. These are the red flags that should trigger your critical thinking. Red flag hash. 1. Too good to be true. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is. But manipulators know you know this, so they make it seem almost too good to be true, but with just enough believability. They'll explain why this amazing opportunity exists. They'll acknowledge it seems unusual. They'll give you sophisticated reasons why it works, and your intelligence will want to believe that you're smart enough to recognize a real diamond in the rough. But trust this instinct. If it seems too good to be true, it almost certainly is. Red flag hash 2. Legitimate opportunities can withstand scrutiny and time. Manipulation requires urgency because time allows critical thinking. If someone is pressuring you to decide quickly, ask yourself why. This offer expires tonight. You need to commit now before spots fill up. If you wait, you'll miss it. Real estate, jobs, investments, legitimate things sometimes do have genuine time constraints. But manipulators create artificial urgency to prevent you from consulting others, doing research, or sleeping on the decision. Red flag hash 3. Isolation from input. If someone discourages you from talking to others about a decision, that's a massive red flag. Don't tell anyone about this yet. Other people won't understand. This is between us. Your family will just worry unnecessarily. Manipulators know that outside perspectives are dangerous to their schemes. They want you making decisions in isolation, where only their influence matters. Legitimate situations don't require secrecy from your trusted advisors. If someone is making you keep secrets from people who care about you, they're manipulating you. Red flag #4, playing on your identity or insecurities. Pay attention when someone frames their request in terms of who you are or who you want to be. Someone as smart as you, you're not like other people who, I thought you were brave enough to. You're the only one who understands. They're not engaging with your logic. They're manipulating your ego and identity. They're making it so sane. No means admitting you're not who you think you are. Red flag #5, inconsistencies and shifting stories. Manipulators often can't keep their stories straight because they're making them up. Pay attention to details that don't quite match up from one conversation to another. They might blame it on you misunderstanding or misremembering. That's gaslighting. If you find yourself constantly confused about what was said or agreed to, red flag #6, your gut says something's wrong. This is huge. Your intuition is pattern recognition, happening faster than conscious thought. If something feels off, even if you can't articulate why, pay attention. Don't let anyone convince you to ignore your gut, including yourself. Intelligence often talks us out of our instincts because I need logical reasons. But your instincts are picking up on subtle cues your conscious mind hasn't processed yet. Trust that feeling. Red flag #7, escalating requests. This is the foot in the door technique. They start with small requests you'll agree to, then gradually escalate. Can I borrow $20? Then $100, then $500. Each time, they reference the previous loans as evidence of your relationship and their trustworthiness in repay. Or, can you give me a ride? Then can you help me move? Then can you let me stay with you for a week? Each escalation is framed as not much more than you've already done. Red flag #8. They're always the victim. If someone's life is a constant string of betrayals, bad luck, and people who wronged them, be careful. Either they have terrible judgment in who they associate with, or they're the common denominator. Manipulators often present themselves as victims to elicit sympathy and lower your defenses. Everyone has abandoned me, but I thought you were different. All right. So how do you actually protect yourself from manipulation without becoming paranoid or cynical? Here's your practical defense strategy. Defense #1. The single most effective defense against manipulation is time. Manipulators need you to decide quickly. You defend yourself by slowing down. Implement a personal rule. Any significant decision requires at least 48 hours of consideration. No exceptions. If someone can't wait 24 hours, that tells you something important. During that time, you're not actively thinking about it the whole time. You're letting your unconscious mind process. You're letting emotions settle. You're creating space for intuition to surface. Defense #2. Consult your circle. Talk to people who care about you and have nothing to gain from your decision. Describe the situation objectively. Listen to their reactions. If you feel resistant to sharing, ask yourself why. Is it because they wouldn't understand the complexity? Maybe. Or because you already know they'll see problems you don't want to acknowledge? Probably. Manipulators isolate you. You defend yourself by staying connected. Defense #3. Ask why me? When presented with an opportunity or request, ask yourself, why am I being chosen for this? If it's a great opportunity, why isn't everyone fighting for it? If I'm so perfect for this, what specifically about me makes that true? Am I really uniquely qualified, or am I just being flattered? This question cuts through a lot of manipulation because it forces you to think critically about the selection process. Defense #4. Research independently. Don't rely solely on information provided by the person making the request. Do your own research from independent sources. If it's an investment, talk to a financial advisor who's not involved. If it's a relationship decision, talk to a therapist. If it's a business opportunity, consult with people in that industry. And if your research contradicts what you've been told, believe your research, not the charismatic person with an explanation for everything. Defense #5. Notice your emotional state. Manipulation works by engaging emotion. So pay attention to how you feel when someone is making a request or pitch. Do you feel excited but also anxious? That might be your intuition warning you. Do you feel obligated? Ask yourself if that obligation is legitimate or manufactured. Do you feel special and chosen? Consider whether that feeling is being deliberately created. Your emotions aren't wrong, but they might be responding to manipulation rather than reality. Defense #6. Practice saying no. Start saying no to small things to build the muscle. You don't owe everyone explanations for your boundaries. No, that doesn't work for me. No, I'm not comfortable with that. No, I need more time to decide. Notice that none of these require justification. You're allowed to say no without explaining yourself. Practice until it feels normal. Defense #7. Understand your vulnerabilities. What are you vulnerable to? Are you susceptible to flattery? Do you struggle with guilt? Do you hate disappointing people? Are you drawn to complex schemes that make you feel smart? Whatever your vulnerabilities are, manipulators will find them. But if you're aware of them, you can watch for when they're being activated. Defense #8. Trust patterns, not promises. People show you who they are through consistent behavior, not through what they say about themselves. Don't be swayed by what someone promises they'll do or who they claim to be. Look at what they've actually done. Look at patterns of behavior over time. Look at how they treat people who can't benefit them. Patterns don't lie, words do. So here's what I want you to remember from this video. Being manipulated is not about being stupid. It's about being human. Every human being has psychological vulnerabilities because every human being has emotions, needs, biases, and gaps between how they think they make decisions and how they actually make decisions. What? Manipulators succeed because they understand human psychology, not because their targets are dumb. In fact, intelligence can make you more vulnerable because it gives you confidence in your judgment, makes you susceptible to complex schemes, and provides you with the rationalization skills to talk yourself into bad decisions. The goal isn't to become paranoid or to stop trusting anyone. The goal is to develop informed skepticism, to slow down decision-making, to consult your circle, to trust your gut even when you can't logically explain it, to recognize the red flags and take them seriously. You can be kind and still protect yourself. You can be trusting and still be cautious. You can be optimistic and still ask hard questions. These aren't contradictions. This is wisdom. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on psychology, relationships, and personal development. And I'd love to hear in the comments, have you ever been manipulated? What were the signs you missed? What helped you see it? Let's learn from each other. Thank you so much for spending this hour with me. Stay smart, stay aware, and remember, the best defense against manipulation is not trying to be smarter than everyone else. It's understanding that you're human, like everyone else, and taking that seriously. Take care of yourself.